Hi, I'm Alex. I'm Specialist Technician here at Central St Martin's, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a canvas stretcher frame. Right, so what is a canvas stretcher frame? Here's one that we made earlier. The purpose of the frame is to be able to stretch canvas and do your painting uninterrupted in any size that you want. Step one, plan, measure, and then cut to length. Today we're going to be using the miter saw, chop saw to cut our timber to length. You might not have one of those at home, so tape measure, sharp pencil, carpenter square is going to be more than enough for you to be able to accurately mark out the length of your material to make your canvas stretcher frame. First, you want to decide on the size of your frame. We're going to be making a frame that's 110 centimeters by 110 centimeters. Let's go and cut some wood. Step two, marking out the joints. So let's get started. I'm going to use just an offcut of the material that I'm making the frame with. This is called 2x1. Just mark out that thickness. That way I don't really have to measure. We're not going to quite mark it out all the way around because the next step is this part here, the housing joint. So we're removing half of the material. And as we know already, that's 44 millimeters and half of it, 22 millimeters, will be removed. And I've got a really fantastic tool that we can use to make that dead easy. So what is half of 110? 55. Just doing a little dash on the timber. And we're going to use our carpenter's square, making sure that we use the butt of the tool, this brassy bit here, flat against the timber. So the tool that I mentioned before that would make marking out much easier in this process is known as a marking gauge. If I just loosely by eye place my pin halfway onto the material and then tie off my toggle to just compress our material to make it easier to see when we do eventually cut it out. If I place the halfway point of the timber on our halfway point in our frame length, it means that the timber's going to be dead in the center and not top or bottom heavy. Oh, my dangly bit. And we're going to use our marking gauge to score on both sides of our marked out thickness of material. And we're going to emphasize that with a pencil. This is the toughest part of making the canvas stretcher. It is the marking out. But once you've done it, the cutting is dead easy. Step three, cut the timber. First things first, we need to secure our material to a stable surface. I've got a wicked table here. Just make sure that it's not going to be wibbly wobbling around everywhere. What you want to do is you want to place the blade on the inside of your pencil line. It's important that you do that because we don't want to go beyond the boundaries of our marking out. If we go on the outside, then our joint's going to be slightly wider. So just go for it. Just a little nick on the top, guiding it as if it's a tough carrot in the kitchen, and then using the breadth of the teeth to your halfway point that you made with your marking gauge. We're not going to stop after we've done our two vertical lines. We're going to do a few more lines in between just to make the chiseling process a little bit easier. We've got our chisel. I also need a mallet, so I'll see in a minute. Here we go. Right, you've got two sides to a chisel. You've got a flat bit, and when we're using that, that's going to want to go down like this. If we use it in this orientation, it's going to go up like that. We're going to want to use it in the rounded bit. That's pretty good, pretty good. Let's give it a little test, make sure that it fits. I'm actually dead happy with that. Look at that, fantastic. Step four, assemble. What we're going to do now is our dry fit. The dry fit allows us to identify any mistakes that we might have made along the cutting way or the marking way. And you'll see that your pieces fit nicely in the slots that you've cut. You might need a mallet in some places, but you know what? I'm pretty confident that that's going to work out well. So let's move on to the drilling. We use a 3mm drill bit, make 2 holes in every recess that we've marked out. Assembling our canvas stretcher frame using screws is going to allow us to disassemble and reassemble our frame as and when we need it. We're just going to quickly grab a countersink. Countersink makes space for the head of the screw to be able to sit just a fraction below the timber so it doesn't interfere with our canvas. I'm using 40mm screws. I'm just going to grab my driver and we're just going to steam through this. Gorgeous. Step 5, add the quadrant. What is the quadrant? Do we need the quadrant? The quadrant is a rounded edge piece of timber that sits on the edge of your canvas stretcher. It exists for the purpose of elevating your canvas a fraction above the frame that you've just made. If you look here and we place pressure as if we are paint, we can see quite clearly there's a ghost left on the surface of the material. The quadrant will completely eliminate that and just leave us a very sharp edge, which you'll see shortly. I'm just going to place a bead of glue, ordinary wood glue, this one is water-based, along the flat side. Just gently place it edge to edge. Now all wood has got movement, so be kind to yourself if it's a little bit wibbly wobbly. I've got some 30mm nails here and we're just going to tap those in using a hammer. The number of nails that you need is dependent on the kind of, well, the length of the frame. We can imitate that with our thumbs. So there's still quite a lot of movement happening there, so I'm going to pop in a couple more. Step 6, add the canvas. Here we have some pre-cut canvas. Our frame is 110 by 110, so our canvas will be 128 by 128. We need to think about the thickness of the material, about how that fabric needs to wrap around it once we fit the staples on. So I'm just going to throw this on top with the quadrant side down and ensure that I have an equal edge. We want to start off in the center before we start placing any tension on the frame. Another tool that we're going to be using in this process is called a set of canvas pliers. I'm just going to grip them and then use the lip on the pliers to just pull back the fabric. And this is when it helps to be ambidextrous. Once we've done the staples around all of the edging, we're going to focus on our corners. There's a million ways of doing the corners on your canvas. You find your way and practice makes perfect. Right, there we have it. We've fixed our canvas successfully onto our frame. Now let's have a look on the front. Fantastic. Perfect frame, perfect tension, ready for your painting. Thank you so much for watching.